Hi everyone, it's Young Dad and Old Dad. Hello, just having his breakfast. Just doing a bit of a quick vlog today with a bit of an update as to everything, because I've not been on the page that much over the last couple of weeks, and I'm kind of conscious that I've not been a good, what's the word, host or publicist of material, because we've had a bit of a funny couple of weeks, haven't we? We had, I don't know if anybody's been watching that new The Cheat, but we thought it was fab. I thought it was fab anyway. It was over 4 nights. It was quite quick, and then by the 4th night you knew what happened, and it was an ending that I was happy with. So it was really well written. Mum didn't like it so much. She liked sort of more Midsummer Murdery type things, but I liked it because it was just a bit different, and we like Becky from Corrie anyway, don't we?
Yeah. It's just so easy to, rather than have to go through 10 weeks.
Yeah.
It was nice to get it all finished in 4 days.
4 days, yeah. So you're not waiting weeks for the ending, which is good.
Because I hate waiting.
Yes, we know that very well. So, yeah, we were kind of watching that. We were 10 minutes in, and then the electric went off, and we were like, what the hell's going on? So,
Well, I just sat there and thought, let him deal with it.
yeah, which is normally what happens, isn't it?
Yeah. He can deal with it.
Yeah, I deal with all the... I was going to
Things.
say a really rude word then, beginning with a shirt and ending in it.
Yeah.
But,
Shit.
was that ship?
Yes.
I thought it was. Remember, we have mixed audience. Anyway, so we were watching that, and then the electric went off, and it was just like, what's going on? So we went and turned it back on, but of course, it takes a while for the, you look fabulous, darling. It takes a while for the Skybox to reconfigurate itself.
I look like Duncan.
Oh, God. You've got Duncan's kiss curl.
You can tell Duncan is my dog.
Yeah, definitely.
Because of that.
And you can tell I was my dog because he's got my brown eyes.
And gone bald.
He's not going bald. So anyway, we were watching it. Where were we now? I'm lost. Does that fire's not come on? Does it need another log? Oh, leave it a minute. It's actually a bit chilly this morning. Where was I? Oh, yeah. So we were waiting for the Skybox.
You were... Oh, yeah. I thought you were talking about cheating on me, but you didn't.
No. I wasn't talking about cheating on you.
With Becky. No.
I wasn't cheating on you with Becky.
All right.
Anyway, we were watching The Cheat. Yeah, so the electric went off, and then I was like, what's going on? So we turned it off. Went back to I had to take everything out under the cupboard and under the stairs and move everything and get to the box, which is right at the back of the cupboard, but we used it as storage, so it's just a nightmare. So I got to the fuses, and the mains fuse was off, which is weird, because sometimes if something goes off like a light bulb or an appliance fuses or something, it's normally the individual switches that flick, but it wasn't, it was the mains. So basically...
Basically, it's a modern consumer unit.
What was that over there? Oh yeah, tumbleweed. So basically, we turned it back on, the electric. We sat down, waited for the Skybox to reconfigure itself, and it just didn't It came on. It took a few minutes, and then we started watching The Cheat again. And we're like, oh, we've missed a few minutes of it now. I don't know what's gone on. Blah 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 blah. And then within 30 seconds, it went off again. And I was like, this is a nightmare. But because it's been so rainy, my immediate thought was that rain's getting somewhere into electrics, and we've got 3 different supplies going to the outside. We've got a supply to the pond, we've got a supply to the summer house, we've got a supply that goes to the post lights and the outside lights. So I just thought, I'll just flick the switches for all the outside electrics, because, in case water's getting into one of the lights, and that's what's fusing. And we turned everything back on, and that seemed to be okay. So we watched the end of the programme, we went to bed. Half an hour, been in bed, just about to doze off.
No, it went again before as well. Went off twice during Cheat.
Yeah, but...
Yeah, but no.
Yeah, but that was before I switched the outside electric off. once I did that, it didn't go off again. So I assumed I'd solved the problem. Then went to bed. And then, whilst I'm lying in bed, just about to go to sleep, the bedside light went off. I saw that out of the corner of my eye. The bedside light went off, so I was like, oh my God, this is a nightmare. Because, of course, when the power's off for a period of time, the burglar alarm then goes off, because after 20 minutes, the unit assumes that we're being burgled or that somebody's got the power. So it goes off and you can't turn it back on, or you can't turn the alarm off, the noise. So I'm thinking, I don't want to wake up in the middle of the night to the alarm going off and I can't turn it off. And I've got work the next day, and it was like, oh my God. So anyway, I went back down, turned it on again, and it didn't go off again. But what I did is I went to bed and left the light on, and then, because I thought, I'm not going to know if the electric goes off in the night because I haven't got bedside alarm or clock. So if I wake up in darkness, it might be because the electric's gone off or just because the light's off. So I left the light on thinking, right, if I wake up in the night, the light's still on, I know we've still got electric. But of course, what happened? I woke up every hour then thinking, is the light still on? Or have we gone off? Blah, blah, blah. So I didn't sleep very well. So then we called an electrician the next day, and he came out and he couldn't really find a problem with it. And he said, if it is the outside, it could still be fused in the box, even though you've turned the power off, because there's only live and neutral going to the outside. So I was like, what does that mean? Anyway. And then he said, well, I can't test those lights until it stops raining, so I'll have to come back. So then, in the meantime, one of my friends had posted that her electric have gone off down the road, because the first thing we checked when it went off was that the neighbours was on, and my neighbour's got lights in his garden and they were on, and my next door neighbour's got lights on a porch and they were on. So I thought, well, it's got to be just us. Anyway, my friend said that her electric had gone off. She lives 4 doors down.
At exactly the same time.
At exactly the same time, because I said to her, what time did your electric go off? She went, I'll tell you exactly when it went off, because we just started watching that cheat. And I was like, oh my God, that's when ours went off. So anyway, then I thought maybe it's not us. So she told me to ring 105, which is a really useful number that I didn't know, but it's for electric emergencies. And they said they'd send an engineer out. So he came out and said, I'm going to have to...
So just dial 105?
105, yeah. Oh. It's like 101 or, for the police or whatever. It's quite good. I was like, oh, I didn't know that. So I know now. Anyway, they said they'd come out. Well, get back in the frame. You're so cheeky to me on a Sunday morning. Well, most mornings actually, not just Sunday. Anyway, so he came, this little engineering guy person, and he was like, right, I'm going to drill holes in the road. I was like, good for you. And he said, if there's smoke...
Whatever floats your boat, isn't it?
Yeah, he said, if there's smoke coming up, I was like, what? He said, it could be that the cable's burning underground and it's making the way up the road. I was like, that doesn't sound particularly safe, does it, really?
Sent me sausages out with him.
I was going to say.
Could have cooked them at the same time.
Put a frying pan over the hole and, cook your breakfast. Anyway.
Yeah.
We
digress.
We digress. He came out and then he went off. And then the electrician who said, I'm going to have to come back, came back. And then when he came back, the electric man came back at the same time, and he told my electrician that, I think it's not anything wrong with the house. I think it's
they
us.
spoke to each other in electrician.
In code. It was like listening to someone talking Danish and Japanese. I was just like, what else? So, but anyway, the crux of it was that it wasn't actually our fault. So, but then he said, we can't fix it today because we're on flood alert, so it could be anything up to a week. So I'm thinking, great, so for anything up to a week, we're going to have the power going off. So...
well, that'll put the fire out then, wouldn't it, the flood?
Yeah, but then we wouldn't be able to watch any telly and our alarm would be sounding and I'd be going insane.
I'd just go to sleep.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be able to, but how light sleeper I am. So... But then, of course, we'd had to pay the electrician, to come out in the first place. I'm thinking, well, that was wasted, 50 quid or whatever. So, so that was that. And then since then, we've had high winds and more rain. And, we've had 2 leaks in the garage.
Do you want to go out, Duncan?
Oh, does he want to go out?
Yes.
Let me pause the video. Hi, it's John again, as you can see from the t-shirt. Actually, you bought me this t-shirt, didn't you?
Yeah.
For my birthday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Just in case I got lost out in public and somebody could bring me home. So the electric, so we'd had this problem, the electric had gone on and off. He said it could take up to a week because they were on flood alert, and therefore
Duncan disorderly.
this could be going on all week and there's nothing they can do about it. So on the good side, we found out it's not actually our problem because the electrician seemed to indicate it could be a rogue anything at all.
A bit chiller.
And, you know, finding out could be like finding a needle in a haystack, which just filled me with dread. But on the downside is we've got the electric going on and off, or we could have the electric going on and off. So that was that. And then in the meantime, we had high winds. I was worried that the roof was going to come off because every time we have high winds, we lose another tile because the roof needs replacing, but we can't afford to do it at the moment. And on top of that, we had really, really, really heavy rain yesterday, which meant that we've got 2 leaks in the garage. So we've got a bucket under each one.
Thank you.
But it's still sometimes, if it's really heavy, it still leaks onto the floor. Last time it leaked really badly, it blew up our tumble dryer. So I hate rain because I know the garage is always going to leak. And I can't afford to get the garage roof repaired. And it's also asbestos, corrugated asbestos, so it needs a specialist to come and get rid of it anyway. And really I want the whole garage replacing, but again, we can't afford to do that. So that's always a makeshift nightmare problem that I have to sort out when it rains. And then on top of that, for some reason, the cat flap in the back door, which we don't use anymore, started leaking. So there was rain getting in and it went all on the kitchen floor. So I had to put pieces of toilet...
Never rains, but it pours.
Oh, do you know, it's just been one problem after another. Last month we had the central heat.
Tragedy.
So honestly, seriously, I feel like putting a step CD on.
Tragedy.
So, can I have a kiss, please? Thank you. So, yeah, because last month it was the blooming central heating, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We had no heating for a week, and then it took them 3 times to find out what the problem is. I'm just sick of the winter because there's always a problem in this house. And I just want it to be over so that we don't have any more problems. And I'm back in work, nearly full-time hours now, which I'm very tired. It's been very tiring, hasn't it? I found it very tiring, and I found it quite emotionally draining because some of those more recent shifts I've been on my own. And people just assume because I've been back since January that I'm fine and that I'm coping and that everything's all right. But actually, have you gone off on one? He just switches off from what I'm saying and just thinks about things. Yes, it's very nice, darling. You need to dye it purple or something like that. I don't know. Do something funky with it. So, because of all the stress and because of work and what have you, I've just not really been very focused on Errol's page or vlogs or anything. I've not even been very focused on my knitting, which... Oh, can I just say, Errol is here, by the way, if anyone's wondering where he is. He's down here next to me, being a very good boy, aren't you? You're being a very good boy, aren't you? You love your daddy, don't you? And we've got...
Which I have.
Oh, look. You see, old dad's been focusing on his knitting. Look at that. Do you want to explain what you've been doing?
I've been knitting.
Yeah, we know you've been knitting, but it's loom knitting, and what you're making?
It's loom knitting. It's going to be a blanket. Because that's double that. Starts off there.
Yeah.
Goes all the way around there. All the way around there.
Yeah.
All the way around there.
Yeah.
All the way around there.
Has this got an end to it?
All the way, just a minute. You'll see what happens in the end. And it goes all the way around there.
Yeah.
And then all the way around there. All the way around there. And it ends there.
Right.
So it's like double that.
In width, do you mean?
Yeah.
Right. And what yarn are you using, please?
I'm using Caron. I don't know what it's called, but I call it Big Balls. Because it's big. And it's 300 grams a ball. But I've just looked at the latest order that I got weeks ago when I started this. And there's 2 different lots.
Do you know, you should tell them, because even though
That's
it's only
too
a week,
late.
how long's too late?
Well, it's just too late.
Well, you could email and try, and then it might not be too late.
Then I have to send the old ones back and all that farting about, and I can't remember where I got it from anyway.
Well,
So that's going to be a blanket in about 79 years.
yeah. It has taken you a while just
Or
to
it
do
could
that.
just be a big dicky bow.
Anyway, 79 years it's taken Art to do that blanket. It's taken me 79 years to do this much of my new sock. Which, for some reason, I don't know what happened with this. It was my least favourite wool. That's the wool. I bought it and I hadn't really seen it in the flesh. I'd seen it online thinking, oh, that looks like kind of masculine colours, but not boring. But then when I got it, it was kind of like a dull purple, like a dull snotty moss green, and like a, I don't know, not quite an orange, more like a beigey orange. And I kind of saw it in the flesh and I was like, oh, I wasn't that impressed. But actually, now I'm knitting it up, I actually quite like it. I think it's actually quite nice. However, it's a 3-ply yarn. So the problem is that I've had to use smaller needles. So I'm using 2mm needles instead of 2.75, which are tiny. I'll do like 10 rows and it looks like I've not done anything. So I've been working on this sock, and bear in mind I haven't actually done a lot of it because of work and because of all the rubbish I've been dealing with. But that's quite slow for me. In a week to 2 weeks, I think that's taken me just to do that. And I've not even reached the heel flap yet, and I've got another whole sock to do on top of that. So I'm getting a bit bored with it now because I do want to start my brioche scarf. But it's nice. I just think maybe 2mm needles just mean that I've got to accept the fact I'm not going to get a pair of socks done in a week. It's going to take a lot longer, but it's nice and fine. It's quite neat, and it's quite tight. So when you stretch it, you don't like, you know, it feels like it'll fit onto my foot nicely and hold my foot rather than.
And your fat legs.
What do you mean my fat legs? It's so cheeky. If we weren't on camera, tell you what, I don't want any.
Making me coffee.
I don't want any evidence of assaults online. But you know, there's going to be one. So yeah, I'm a bit disappointed with the fact it's not going as quick as I'd like, and also I'm now thinking, rather than doing any more, boys, thank you. Before I do any more of this, I'm thinking I might start the same sock again on another pair of needles. Cause I've got another pair of needles this size, and I've got another ball of yarn. Boys, please, enough. I'm trying to film. Come on. So, yeah, that's what I'm up to with that. And I haven't bought any new yarn, and I haven't made anything else or tried anything else. So I'm a bit lackluster at the moment. Is that the word, lackluster?
Yeah.
Um,
Very dull.
I am very dull. I feel dullage in my life right now.
Dullet.
I,
Feel a dullet.
I do feel like a dullet. Is that a real word?
Yeah.
I feel like a dullet. Yeah, I'm a dullet. So,
Look it up, girls.
what are you telling me to say online now?
Nothing.
Anyway, I'm still looking forward to my sock course with the wonderful Eleanor from Knit Nottingham. And that's just over a month away. And somebody else wants to say hello.
Hello.
Look, who's that?
Look.
Look, it's you on the camera.
Look, there's young dad.
Look, there. There's you on the camera there, isn't it? Yes. Saying hello to everybody. Oh, come here, baby. Come on, say hello. Come here. Come right here. Come on. Oh, you're pudding. You're pudding. Duncan wants to get in on the act
Me
as
too.
well.
Yeah.
Me too's
Isn't
here.
it, Ash?
Come here, Dunks. Come on.
It's me too.
Come and say hello to everybody.
Oh.
Oh, the boys. Isn't he getting big now, everybody? He's only £2 smaller than Errol now, believe it or not.
Oh, is that
he's
nice,
still
Errol?
a maniac.
Neck
But
rub.
he's is a lovely maniac, aren't you, Donkey? Leave your brother alone. What are they doing down here? Oh, babies.
Oh, he's getting a
kisses.
neck rub. Oh.
Kisses, these little legs never stop jigging about, do they? These
Oh,
little
is
legs
that good?
never stop jigging about.
Oh, is that good?
No bites, no bites. Good boy, good boy. There we go. So, I don't think... Is there anything else we've got to discuss?
No.
I'm sure there was something else. My sock course, that's coming up. There's another thing I might be going on, which is... There's a place near me which they do sock evenings and other... Learn how to do moss stitch and learn how to do this stitch. I've not been there before, but I'm considering going because it's quite cheap and it's local. But unfortunately, the next 3 courses they've got coincide with when I'm working nights, so I can't go to those. But I'm going to keep an eye on that. What have you got on your chest there? Got a little black blob. It's not a flea, is it?
No, at all.
No, it's just a bit of dirt. The good thing is with Duncan's fur is so light, I can see if he's got any infestations, which so far, touch wood, he hasn't had any. But yeah, so I will try and update more
Stand on my beard, baby.
as time goes on, and I'll do another vlog for April. So hopefully that'll be a bit more exciting and have a bit more information on it. But in the meantime,
Thank you. Bloody kisses.
oh Errol, are we going to say goodbye?
Let's say goodbye.
Say goodbye over here.
Bye bye, everybody.
Bye everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.